All right, let's head into the FCS. We have two unbeatens in the Northeast Division, at least in their conference, that is. And that is Merrimack taking on St. Francis of PA. This is going to be a fantastic game. This really sets the precedent on who will be the leader of the Northeast Conference after this game is all said and done. Merrimack has been a great game, a great team to watch all season long, but don't even get me started on the points that St. Francis has seen to be put up all season long. Steve, I know you are the FCS expert of Slasher U. Break this game down for us. Let us know what's going on. Should be a great outing, though.
We shouldn't call me an expert. I watch more FCS games than you do. So I think that's a fair thing. I always have. Now, one thing to keep in mind with this game, Merrimack, even if they win, they will not get an automatic bid. St. Francis already has the automatic bid.
Really?
Because of reclassification.
Okay.
That stupid rule. Like, okay, if you're going from Division 1 to Division 2 or 3, okay, you need to sit out a year. But if you're going up in classification and you win your conference, you should be able to get the automatic bid. I mean, that's just one of those really stupid rules that only the NCAA could come up with. But back to on the field stuff. Like you said, St. Francis averaging 36.2 points a game. Yep. They're allowing just under 18. Their quarterback has the sixth best passer rating in FCS at 167.2. Cole Doyle. They crushed Duquesne. Merrimack struggled against Duquesne, as far as you want to go comparisons there. Mm-hmm. And then the other thing here is Merrimack's games have all, except for one against Wagner, have all been decided by one touchdown or less. Where St. Francis has had some much easier, even blowout kind of wins. So you have to wonder if St. Francis can get its offense going early. I think it could be a longer day for Merrimack. Another kid to keep an eye on, because I believe this game is on ESPN Plus, there's a freshman receiver by the name of Elijah Surratt. And he's become Doyle's favorite target over the last 3 games. He's got 7 touchdowns in the last 3 games, 11 on the season. They've set a school record this year with 45 touchdowns and 362 points scored.
Wow.
Yeah, for a school that's been playing football for a long time, again, not at the highest levels, but St. Francis of PA is a popular destination for especially Western and Central Pennsylvania kids to go if they've been overlooked by the FBS schools. Merrimack has had some interesting games. That they took Harvard to overtime. They were leading the game for 58 minutes, and then the game got tied up, and they lost it in overtime. The only really bad loss they suffered was against Holy Cross, who is one of the better teams, in FCS this year. Their defense is reliable. It is opportunistic. So there's a chance it could be close, but I have a pretty good idea that St. Francis is going to pour on the points. I don't know that Merrimack's defense lets them get off to a fast start, but I think over time, I think the Red Flash offense is just going to be too much for them. And they've already got the automatic FCS playoff bid because of that weird rule that we just talked about earlier. But it's a bragging rights game for Merrimack in a lot of ways. They've done better than I think that they thought they would have. They're a very competent athletic department. And even like in men's and women's basketball, they're competing on a nightly basis. But it doesn't really matter from a playoff standpoint, but it would certainly help St. Francis's seeding because the Northeast is not a power conference, if you will, within the FCS. So a really decisive win here would maybe help them with their playoff seeding.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the FCS playoffs in general, and seeing St. Francis in there should be good. This is a good test. This is the last week of FCS regular season. They stop a week before the FBS, so this is really the last week we get to talk about them before we get into the playoff brackets. We want to know your thoughts on this one. If you're following St. Francis or Merrimack, let us know your thoughts on this game. If you're a Merrimack fan, I want to know how upset you are about not getting that chance of that bid. Let us know in the comments below. This should be a good matchup. And Steve, one more time, who are you taking to win this game?
I'm taking St. Francis on this one, and pretty handily. I think it's going to be. It's not a knock. Merrimack's had a great year, but I think St. Francis is just too much to handle for this defense.
All right, you're going to get this preview, and then this coming Sunday, you get the selection show for the FCS playoff bracket. Should be a really good thing. We'll make sure we have all of that for you here on SlasherU.